When you look closely at the evolution of modern residential architecture, you begin to notice a fascinating trend. The most groundbreaking, highly coveted homes being built today are rarely entirely new inventions. Instead, they are brilliant collisions of the past and the present. They are the result of taking two completely different, historically proven architectural concepts and merging them together to create something entirely new, undeniably beautiful, and fiercely practical. Today, we are exploring the absolute pinnacle of this architectural evolution. We are looking at a hybrid home design that is rapidly sweeping across the countryside, capturing the imaginations of custom builders, off-grid homesteaders, and luxury designers alike. We are answering the question, what exactly is a Dogtrot Barndominium? To understand this revolutionary structure, we first have to deconstruct its DNA. It is a home that takes the rugged, indestructible, cost-effective engineering of the modern steel barndominium and infuses it with the passive cooling, deeply soulful, nature-connected layout of the historic southern Dogtrot cabin. It is a structure that looks like an industrial fortress on the outside, yet breathes, flows, and connects you to nature like an open-air pavilion. In this comprehensive masterclass, we are going to break down the specific engineering that makes this fusion possible, the profound lifestyle benefits of living inside one, and why the Dogtrot Barndominium might just be the most intelligent, cost-effective custom home you could ever build. Let's dive into the architecture of the hybrid.
To fully grasp the magic of the Dogtrot Barndominium, we must first look at its structural skeleton, the barndominium. For decades, the word barn meant a drafty, uninsulated wooden structure used exclusively for housing livestock and tractors. But in recent years, the building industry experienced a massive paradigm shift. People began to realize that the engineering used to build massive agricultural and commercial warehouses, specifically post-frame or red iron steel construction, was incredibly efficient, highly durable, and shockingly affordable. A true barndominium is simply a residential home built using these commercial post-frame techniques. Instead of building walls out of thousands of tiny 2x4 wooden studs placed every 16 inches, a barndominium relies on massive, heavy-duty columns spaced widely apart, driven deeply into the ground or bolted to a concrete slab. These massive columns support massive roof trusses that can span 40, 50, or even 80 feet across without requiring a single load-bearing wall inside the building. Because the exterior shell goes up incredibly fast and requires less specialized framing labor, barndominiums drastically lower the cost per square foot of construction. Furthermore, because the exterior is typically wrapped in commercial-grade corrugated steel, the home becomes virtually maintenance-free, immune to termites, highly resistant to wildfires, and capable of withstanding extreme weather. It provides an expansive, column-free interior vault, a blank canvas of raw volume waiting to be turned into a luxury living space.
When you collide these two architectural worlds together, you get the Dogtrot Barndominium, a structure that harnesses the absolute best traits of both designs. So, how exactly is this built in the real world? There are two primary ways architects and builders execute this fusion. The first method is building one massive, continuous barndominium shell, say a building that is 40 feet wide and 80 feet long. The builder erects the complete steel envelope and the continuous roof. But instead of framing the entire interior as enclosed living space, they leave a massive 20-foot section right in the middle completely open to the elements, essentially cutting a giant tunnel straight through the building. The two remaining enclosed sides are then heavily insulated and finished as standard living quarters. The second method is building two entirely separate, smaller barndominium structures, perhaps 20 feet apart, and connecting them with a massive engineered roof truss system that spans the gap. Whichever method is used, the result is the same. You achieve the indestructible, cost-effective exterior armor of a modern metal building, combined with the airflow, spatial separation, and outdoor connection of the historic Dogtrot layout. It is a home that protects you like an industrial vault while letting you live seamlessly with the natural landscape.
Let's talk about the cold, hard numbers. Because one of the primary reasons this specific hybrid design is exploding in popularity is its incredible financial efficiency. Building a custom home today is astronomically expensive, largely driven by the cost of finishing enclosed climate-controlled spaces. Every square foot of interior space requires heating, cooling, wiring, drywall, paint, and flooring. The Dogtrot Barndominium is the ultimate architectural budget hack. First, by utilizing post frame or steel construction, your exterior shell goes up in a fraction of the time compared to traditional stick framing, slashing your labor costs drastically. The commercial-grade metal roofing and siding also save you tens of thousands of dollars over a lifetime, as they never need to be repainted, reshingled, or treated for rot. But the true financial magic lies in the Dogtrot layout itself. Let's say you build a Barndominium with a total footprint of 2,500 square feet. If you enclose the entire thing, you would pay a premium to finish every inch. But by turning 500 square feet of the center into an open-air breezeway, you instantly eliminate the need to insulate, drywall, or air condition 20% of your home's footprint. Yet because that breezeway is fully roofed and floored, it functions perfectly as your primary living room, dining room, and entertainment space for 3 seasons out of the year. You get the massive, sweeping square footage of a luxury estate, but you are only paying the finishing costs for a much smaller, highly efficient interior. It is the ultimate maximization of cheap, unconditioned space.
One of the most frequently discussed drawbacks of standard Barndominium living is acoustics. Because Barndominiums are typically massive, open-concept metal boxes with soaring vaulted ceilings, they can become notorious echo chambers. If someone is watching an action movie in the living room, the sound bounces off the metal roof and echoes straight into the bedrooms. In a standard open-concept layout, achieving true acoustic privacy is incredibly difficult. The Dogtrot Barndominium completely obliterates this problem. By dividing your interior living space into 2 entirely separate, physically detached pavilions, you create the ultimate impenetrable sound barrier. Sound waves simply cannot effectively travel through an insulated exterior wall, across 20 feet of open outdoor air, and penetrate a second insulated exterior wall. You can designate one pavilion as the active zone, housing the kitchen, the media room, the home gym, and the guest entertainment areas. You designate the other pavilion as the quiet zone, housing the master suite, the nursery, and perhaps a dedicated remote work home office. You can have a loud, chaotic family gathering in the active pavilion while someone sleeps or works completely undisturbed in the quiet pavilion. For modern families managing remote work and different schedules, this profound acoustic separation is a life-changing luxury, transforming the echoey metal barn into a sanctuary of deep, undisturbed peace.
In standard residential architecture, if you want a dedicated room for a specific activity, you have to build it, heat it, and pay taxes on it. If you want a home gym, a woodworking shop, and a massive formal dining room, your house quickly balloons to an unaffordable size. The Dogtrot Barndominium solves this by providing the ultimate monumental flex space, the breezeway. Because Barndominium engineering utilizes massive clear-span roof trusses, the central breezeway in these homes is often staggering in scale. It is not just a simple outdoor hallway, it is a colossal, towering pavilion. It can easily be 20 feet wide, 40 feet deep, and 20 feet tall. It is fully protected from the rain and the blistering sun by the massive steel roof overhead. This void becomes the most heavily utilized room on the property. You do not need to build a formal dining room inside your heated footprint. You simply place a massive reclaimed timber table permanently in the breezeway. You do not need a garage for messy weekend projects. You can sand furniture, paint canvases, or tune up your mountain bike directly in the breezeway and simply sweep the dust off the edge of the concrete slab when you are done. It is an indestructible, multifunctional arena that adapts instantly to whatever your lifestyle demands on any given day.
To design a truly unforgettable home is to master the art of contrast. If a Barndominium is built solely out of metal, both inside and out, it can feel cold, sterile, and overly commercial. The Dogtrot Barndominium offers a brilliant canvas for blending harsh industrial materials with soft, organic warmth, creating an aesthetic that is incredibly sophisticated. The standard design approach is to use the heavy, commercial corrugated steel for the outer shell, the roof, the back walls, and the far side walls. This provides the indestructible, maintenance-free armor that protects the home from the elements. Colors like matte charcoal, stark white, or deep forest green look incredibly modern and striking against a natural landscape. But when you step into the central breezeway, the design language softens. Because the interior walls of the breezeway are protected from direct sun and heavy rain by the massive roof overhang, designers frequently clad these interwalls with natural timber. Warm, aromatic cedar, rich mahogany, or rugged, charred Shosuki bonwood are beautifully applied to the interior facades. When you sit in the breezeway, surrounded by natural wood grain, looking out through massive glass sliding doors, you do not feel like you are inside a metal warehouse. You feel like you are inside an elite, world-class luxury retreat, a perfect harmony of industrial grit and organic soul.
We must address the most critical building science reality of constructing a metal barndominium. Steel is an exceptional thermal conductor. It transfers heat and cold with terrifying efficiency. If you do not insulate a barndominium correctly, it will be a freezing icebox in the winter, a sweltering oven in the summer, and it will rain condensation inside your walls. To make the enclosed pavilions of a Dogtrot barndominium livable and hyper-efficient, builders must execute a flawless thermal envelope. The gold standard, and realistically the only acceptable method for metal buildings, is the application of closed-cell polyurethane spray foam. By spraying 3 to 5 inches of closed-cell foam directly onto the interior surface of the exterior metal panels, the builder achieves a monumental building science victory. First, the foam creates an absolute vapor barrier, ensuring that warm, humid indoor air can never reach the cold outer steel to cause condensation and mold. Second, it provides a massive R-value, creating a thermal break that permanently stops the transfer of heat. Because the enclosed pavilions are essentially tight, hyper-insulated coolers, they require very little energy to heat and cool. Many modern Dogtrot barndominiums utilize simple, highly efficient ductless mini-split systems for climate control, allowing the homeowner to heat or cool the active pavilion during the day and only run the air conditioning in the sleeping pavilion at night, driving monthly utility bills down to the absolute bare minimum.
The Dogtrot Barndominium is far more than just a clever architectural mashup. It is a profound rethinking of how we build, how we spend our money, and how we interact with our environment. It rejects the fragile, overpriced, and often inefficient norms of traditional residential construction, opting instead for the indestructible, cost-effective muscle of commercial steel engineering. But it does not stop at mere utility. By embracing the historic brilliance of the Southern Dogtrot layout, it infuses that industrial steel shell with a deep, breathing soul. It forces us to step outside and feel the wind as we move through our day. It grants us the acoustic peace we desperately need in a noisy world. And it provides a massive covered void that adapts endlessly to the changing demands of our lives. Whether you are a homesteader looking to build an off-grid sanctuary, a family seeking a cost-effective custom home, or a design enthusiast chasing the ultimate industrial organic aesthetic, the Dogtrot Barndominium offers a blueprint without compromise. It is a fortress that invites the forest in. It is a testament to the fact that sometimes the best way to move the future of housing forward is to boldly combine the genius of the past. Thank you for joining us on this architectural exploration. Until next time, build with strength, design with intention, and always leave room for the breeze.